Did you hear, nephew? This man wants to give us our own
Netflix adaptation.
That's right, young man. Your life is about to change for the better.
I'll try to contain my joy.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is over 20 years old, but no matter how much time passes or how many new shows and movies have come out, we still continue to go back to Avatar. It's more than just about nostalgia. Its characters, world, music, and themes have resonated with me and everyone who has watched and grown up with it in a way where it continues to change our lives. We draw inspiration from Zuko's redemption, wisdom from Uncle Iroh's advice, and find courage to accept the struggles of our life through seeing Team Avatar overcome every struggle. There is a reason why this show has so many loyal fans and why so many people are upset about Netflix's adaptation of Avatar. But I'm not here to talk about what you already know. The character assassinations, the nonsensical plot lines, the bad writing. No, I'm here to talk about something much worse about the adaptation that nobody is talking about. I'm here to talk about how Netflix killed Avatar's humor, and as a result, its soul.
It's a giant mushroom. Maybe it's friendly.
This is pathetic. My jokes are way funnier than this.
I think he's got you paying.
There is a scene that perfectly demonstrates the difference between the original and the Netflix adaptation. In the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, Sokka starts tripping out from drinking the cactus juice from being dehydrated after wandering the desert because Appa was stolen. The overall tone of the episode is bleak, and honestly, it's one of the most depressing episodes of Avatar. But him and Momo tripping out was meant to bring relief to this episode. Every episode in Avatar has some humor in it. Whether it's a character saying a joke or the physical comedy of some moments, these characters are struggling to survive, but even still, they find moments in their desperate mission to save the world and stopping the Fire Lord to have humor. They find the time to express themselves, to have fun and be in the moment. In the Netflix adaptation of this scene, the context for the cactus juice is completely removed. Sokka drinks some of it at the Earth Kingdom party and proceeds to make the same jokes as he does in the original.
Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
But they completely fail and fall flat because there isn't the context behind them. It just comes across as Sokka having drunken behavior and it doesn't make any sense. But while I could make this entire video an exact scene comparison from the original to the Netflix adaptation showing why it fails, I'm not going to do that because there is something much more important than them failing to translate the jokes from cartoon to live action. I recently made a video talking about how Netflix Zuko has no honor, how Netflix's version has butchered his character arc. And a big critique of that video is that people say that the live action is meant to be grittier, it's meant to be more dark, and that it doesn't have to follow the exact same plot line, it doesn't have to have the exact same humor as the original. It's meant to be more serious. But I think that this critique fails to truly understand why people love the original so much. See, the original is bleak. Within the first 3 episodes, we find out that all of Aang's world has been destroyed. Everyone he knew and loved was killed by the Fire Nation. We see Monk Gyatso's corpse. This show was made for kids, but the tone and the characters were definitely more mature than we ever gave it credit for at the time when we watched it. We don't watch this show just because we loved it as kids. We watch it because there is value that we learn from even as adults. I've recently rewatched Avatar: The Last Airbender, and the humor hits just as well as it did when I was a kid. Not because the humor is silly or dumb, but because it's genuinely smart. The world and the mission that Team Avatar is on is bleak. Aang is the last airbender. He has no one around him that truly understands and knows who he is. But somehow he still continues to be a hopeful child. He still has fun. He still is able to connect to the people around him. He is still able to look towards the future. All of this is because he is able to have fun. His humor is a core character trait of him, but not only him, everyone in Team Avatar.
There it is! That's what it will sound like when one of you spots it.
The stars sure are beautiful tonight. Too bad you can't see them, Toph.
The big reason why all of these characters are funny and are able to make jokes is because they have character flaws. They make fun of each other's character flaws and they make fun of themselves. You know what I'm talking about when you are able to make those jokes with your friends. You connect with them more, you're able to be in the moment, and you're able to take life a little less seriously. That's a big part of what made Avatar so great. It was able to make jokes even in such a bleak world, not because their characters were immature or because they were kids or they weren't even taking their mission seriously, but because you need humor when things are tough. You need to be able to laugh at things even in the darkest of moments. That's how you find hope. That's how you're able to move forward even when you feel that the journey or the life that you have is just a struggle. I think that a perfect representation of this is also Uncle Iroh. Even though Zuko doesn't laugh at any of Uncle Iroh's jokes in the original, Uncle Iroh still has friendly banter with him. He still smiles, he still makes jokes, he still is able to laugh at life. But when you think about the life that Uncle Iroh has lived, from this warmongerer who has conquered nations and has destroyed so many lives, to a father who has lost Liu Ten, to then becoming the banished former crown prince alongside Zuko, this man has lived a hard life. He becomes a refugee in Ba Sing Se, but he is still able to laugh. He is still able to make jokes, and he is still able to find moments of brevity in his struggle. In the Netflix adaptation of all of these characters, most of them are pretty bleak. Nobody outside of Sokka really makes jokes, especially Uncle Iroh. And the big reason why Netflix's adaptation falls flat in its humor is because they removed nearly all of the character flaws. That isn't to say that the Netflix characters aren't flawed, which they definitely are, but they aren't able to make fun of them anymore. Katara isn't a high-strung sugar queen anymore.
Okay. You both need to calm down.
Both? I'm completely calm!
I can see that.
She is a serious hero who's always doing the right thing. Sokka wasn't a former misogynist who has to learn to become a better man. Instead, he's just a funny warrior all the time. And Aang isn't a hopeful kid who has lost everything. He is instead a very serious, stressed out teen who has lost everything. The characters might look the same as they do in the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, but they have been stripped of all of their character flaws, all of their humor, and all of their sense of life. This Netflix adaptation of Avatar is so completely obsessed with the story of Avatar that they completely forget about what made Avatar so good. In most episodes of Avatar, the main plot isn't even being driven forward. We see these characters go through different moments in their life. Moments that, while are taking place in this extreme world with fantasy elements and superpowers essentially, but they still go through real human struggles. Whether it's Katara learning how to communicate with Toph, whether it's Sokka and Aang goofing off in between their journey, we are able to connect to all of these characters because they feel human. They feel like a couple of friends going on an adventure together the same way that you or I would with our friends. Even though their mission is one that is insane, of saving the world, they are connected to their life. They take moments to have fun. That's what gives them hope, and it's what makes them feel real. Netflix Avatar doesn't understand why humor is important. It just copies and pastes some of Avatar's original jokes in completely different contexts that doesn't make any sense, and thinks that the reason why we found Avatar so funny was just because of the joke, removing it of the reasons why these characters were acting in the way that they were, or even where they were for that matter, removes the joke of all of its humor and all of its significance. I don't hate the Netflix adaptation because it changed the plot or changed character moments or even character motivations. I think that the biggest frustration with this show is because it wasn't created out of a place of love and desire to change the show in a way where it could expand on moments where the original might not have had enough time to, like Zuko's mom. It dresses up its characters to look and act like the characters that we love and know, but their soul, their character flaws, the parts of them that we truly love and resonated with are non-existent. All of these characters might look like the people we know, but they act in ways that the characters would never have in the original. The biggest fault of this adaptation is that it is just entertaining at most and a complete waste of your time at worst. We shouldn't consume stories just because they're entertaining or look like other stories that we know and love. We should be consuming stories because there is something in it that speaks to us, that speaks to a part of our life, that speaks to a struggle that we're going through, that speaks to a part of our soul that we never knew could have been spoken to. That's why the original Avatar is so beloved, because there are so many ways that Avatar speaks to us that we never would have expected. And the older we get, the more that we will find value out of it. While the Netflix adaptation is just created from a place of wanting to waste your time and make you a mindless consumer. Seeing the live action recreate its jokes just proved to me how little they understand Avatar. These characters are funny not because they made these jokes, but because of why they made these jokes in the first place. We need humor to have fun in life, and I know that when life is tough for me and for you, it can be hard to find things that are funny in life or to even want to laugh. But Avatar showed me that no matter what a journey that you and I are on, if we're able to take a moment to be with our friends, to be in the moment, no matter how insane, no matter how exhausting it is, and find something to laugh at, it brings us peace. It brings us a moment of lightness in a world that can feel so heavy. That's why I continue to come back to Avatar, because the older I get, the more that I find it honestly hard to laugh and to enjoy life at times. I feel like the responsibilities and all of the struggles of life makes everything feel so serious. But it never really is always that serious, is it? We can find things to laugh at. We can find ways to connect with our friends, whether it's laughing at our own flaws or about how ridiculous the situation we're in is, or just taking a moment to sit with our friends and laugh at something else that is stupid. These moments are so important because we need them to move forward. We need them to have hope and to know that life isn't always that serious. Netflix's Avatar does not understand this. That's why the jokes that it copies and pastes fall flat, and the new jokes that they make don't really work because they removed all of the character flaws that made them funny in the first place. The original Avatar, The Last Airbender, is a show that I'm going to keep on coming back to no matter how old I get. And that's because at each stage of our life, we're going to be able to connect to the characters differently. They are flawed. They are often wrong more often than they are right. But they have heart. They have a soul, which is so funny to say about these cartoon characters. The biggest reason why is because they are able to relate to our human struggle, our human condition of trying to find our purpose in life, of being able to connect to the people around us, to be able to laugh at no matter what struggles that we are in, and to be able to have hope. And that's why Avatar The Last Airbender is a show that you and I are constantly going to come back to and think of, while Netflix just killed its soul and called it an adaptation.
You must never give in to despair. Allow yourself to slip down that road and you surrender to your lowest instincts in the darkest times. Hope is something you give yourself. That is the meaning of inner strength.